Speaking of hot, they're my favourite act out of Boston. They call themselves the Dresden Dolls. They are Amanda and Brian. Brian on drums and Amanda, vocalist, piano extraordinaire. They're here for sold-out shows around Australia, and they've been touring constantly around the world with their new album, Yes, Virginia. Hello!
Hello.
We've got this special location just for you guys. Do you love it?
It's totally awesome.
Yeah.
I'm completely digging the couches.
You're loving the couches?
The couches are good. Lots of pillows.
Oh, man.
And a piano.
And a piano.
Nice. Is it like the one that you have at home?
Mine, well, it's a lot like the old one I had at home, but I finally got a new one, which is a little bit longer and brand new, so it doesn't have that, like, ooh, I'm an antique kind of vibe.
You can bash the bejesus out of it.
I can bash it.
Well, look, I saw you guys last weekend. You were unbelievable. It was great to see you, I think, for the third or fourth time for me. For anyone that hasn't seen your stage show, tell us about it.
The stage show is pretty stripped down in the sense that it's just the two of us on stage making the music. Occasionally we incorporate another friend of ours to play another instrument, maybe accordion or a string. There's a good amount of humor in the show.
Drums, piano, noise.
Yeah, just
emotion,
energy.
Yeah. Well, it's been amazing. I mean, you've had sold-out shows this time once again, and you've also had to move venues. Was that a big surprise that you had to move venues to a larger space?
I mean, I think we went in without any expectations, but it was a pleasant surprise when it happened. I don't know. It's always a crapshoot. You never know what's going to go on when you put tickets up on sale. But we were ecstatic to find out that things were going so well down here.
Have you found that you've got more fans, more even new fans this time round?
Yeah, absolutely. Word
lot.
spread like wildfire. It was great, and Australia's been one of the most supportive countries for us to come play. So it's great to come here.
And what about your brigade? Tell us about your brigade that you have online who dress up. What do they do this time?
Well, the brigade is actually the name for two separate things. The fans sort of get referred to as the brigade, but a lot of them are volunteers who come to the shows and they decorate the clubs and perform street theater and living statues and stuff. But we also try to incorporate local people and performance artists. And so, like in Brisbane, we had this incredible group called Zen Zenzo Physical Theater, and they basically put some actors on stage, put actors out in the audience. We had everyone in the audience sit down, and then to an original piece of music that was performed on the stage, they did this whole theater piece while everyone in the audience was just like, what is going on? And it was so cool. And that's the kind of stuff that we try to do, is like get local people who do cool stuff and put them in a rock club where people wouldn't expect it.
Good on you, because they need exposure like that. You know, there has to be a platform for that kind of performance as well. So
well, the idea was to get the audience involved, and just on a very basic level, send an invitation to say, if you want to dress up and do something creative at the show, go for it, and nothing less of you if you choose not to. But it's out there for people who want to, and then to network with other performers that we like.
It's mostly my fantasy about wanting to run a circle.
Exactly. Well, look, stick around. You've got a few things to do with us today, and that is to judge our Dollface Frenzy competition. But at number 14 for JTV Saturday's Hottest 20, it's Pony Up, and the truth about cats and dogs is they die. Did you know that? It's pretty morbid, isn't it?
All too well.
This is JTV Saturday. I'm Rosie, and I'm joined by my lovely friends from Boston. They are Amanda and Brian of the Dresden Dolls, who have just finished their sold-out shows around Australia. And tonight you're doing a quick performance with Ben Folds once again.
Yeah, we're just sitting in with him for a couple of songs.
Full orchestra?
Yes.
Oh, have you played with a full orchestra before?
Well, we did this same thing with him in Brisbane at the beginning of our tour.
Yeah.
Basically, we sit in one song with him, and then we do a song of our own.
Nice. Has it been good? He's a big fan of you.
He's totally awesome.
Wonderful. Yeah.
It's lovely just watching his mind tick over when he's performing.
And how relaxed he is with the crowd. He taught the entire audience a 3-part harmony, and then was sort of cueing getting everyone going.
Audience participation is the key. Speaking of which, you guys have got backgrounds in theatre. Tell us about that.
We do, yeah. Both Amanda and I got involved at a really young age, maybe 7 or 8 years old. Started doing community theatre, and then...
Not Hello Dolly.
Not Hello Dolly, no.
I did some Hello Dolly.
You did Hello Dolly, woohoo!
And then had the summer stock. And then I sort of got, I think, really captivated by the idea of it when I first saw the Rocky Horror Picture Show when I was 14.
Oh, that's
I sort of went, I totally identify with what's going on in this.
Who did you play?
I didn't play it. It was just sort of the message of the film that sort of said, like, be free to be the freak that you are.
Right.
And
mesh tights are okay.
Exactly. Meshed or striped or whatever you feel. And then
I grew up in community theater and then went to a high school that just had this genius experimental director, and so everyone I went to high school with was blessed to be exposed to all these cool kinds of really deep, weird theater, and so I ended up writing and directing a lot because that was encouraged, and that just set me on my way.
It's so good to have teachers that are open like that. So many are closed off. Hang on a minute
It's
there.
the most important thing.
Speaking of which, you're about to go back to the States and tour with our very own Brisbane band, the Red Paintings.
Yeah.
And then after that, you'll be performing the Red Onion Cellar. What's it called? Onion Cellar?
That's a project that's been in the works for a couple of years. We're working with this theater in Boston, the American Repertory Theater, and basically we're creating a kind of a fictional cabaret in which we play the house band every night, and so it's basically like a Broadway run, 40 shows in a row. We're playing a bunch of our songs. There's a lot of weird plots going on. The space is totally open, so you might be sitting in the audience and not even know if the person next to you is an actor. And it's just this totally big,
And you'll be peeling onions.
Yes, there will be actual cutting of onions in the show and the crying that then ensues.
And I'll be wearing a bear costume.
Brian's
I get to wear a bear costume, which
Isn't
is
that a little hot to drum in a bear costume?
We're trying to write it in.
Yeah.
Air
Maybe
conditioning,
you'll have to be a bear that doesn't have a top on.
Well, we talked about having him in his skivvies and just the head.
That's good.
Right, what comes
Maybe
from
too
the morning.
X-rated for the kids in the audience.
Well, look, stick around. There's still more to talk about with the Dresden Dolls. Let's get back to the chart, and here's Midnight Juggernauts.